Hey, good evening, class. This is Bill Mansfield, and we're at discussion number 2, the teaching process. And today I'm going to teach the short field takeoff and maximum performance climb. We'll start out with a great little motivational video.
No más, no más, no más, no más.
But there's plenty of room, gringo.
No, sí, hasta arriba, hasta arriba.
Guys, it ain't about room, all right? It's about weight. Now, we agreed on 200. I even put on 300.
No, Barry, eso le cabe más hasta arriba.
No más, no más. Keep pushing, come on. Need all the runway I can get. Keep going, sigan. Paren. Hold. Bien. Gracias. Oh, whoa. Where the hell do you think you're going, big?
Dale, pues. Yo apuesto por Barry. Hágale. Papi, este es mi gallo. Hágale.
Que le bolearan machete a todos esos árboles atrás.
Here are some of the references that I used to make this brief. And here we have our enabling learning objectives. So we have to demonstrate understanding of our best angle of climb, demonstrate precise control of airspeed and climb out of VX, demonstrate the use of all available runway, and demonstrate short field takeoff procedures. And if we can do all of that, then we'll be able to achieve our overall objective, which is to demonstrate that short field takeoff and maximum performance climb. Okay, we'll start out with some definitions. So the first definition is our best angle of climb. And I always remember that it's the best angle of climb because of Vx, and the letter X has a lot of different angles in it. So that's our best angle of climb, is also known as Vx. And that gives us the greatest amount of vertical distance over a horizontal distance. Now we should not confuse that with Vy, which is what we normally climb out. And that's going to give us the greatest vertical distance per unit of time. The last definition we'll look at, there's no exact definition of what a short field is, but typically we consider a short field takeoff when there's a 50-foot obstacle that must be cleared shortly after takeoff, and using the best combination of takeoff and climb. A couple of thoughts there for some of our learners out there is we're not going to take off on any field where we don't have the maximum safe takeoff runway available and the maximum plus the maximum safe landing roll available. So if we add those two numbers together, we shouldn't be using any runway smaller than that. This is just for our initial practice. All right, now we'll talk about the 7 steps of the short field takeoff procedure. So the first step is make sure you're configured appropriately before being cleared to cross the hold short. In the Cessna 182 Tango, which is what I've been flying lately, 10 degrees flaps are preferred, so we'll set that initially. Step 2 is we'll make sure to use all available takeoff area. That's very important. We'll hold our brakes, we'll run up the engines all the way, and make sure that our engine instruments are in the green. When we're ready to go, we'll drop our heels to the floor. That's step 4. And then step 5 is we'll apply backstick as VX approaches. We'll capture VX in step 6 and apply more backstick pressure until we've climbed over the obstacle. And then step 7, the last one, is configuration cleanup and transition to VY. But we'll make sure to do any configuration changes after the obstacle is cleared and we're at a safe altitude to make those changes. All right, and using some of the teaching techniques that we've learned in our course so far, we could look at the case study method here, rewatch the Barry Seals video, and ask a couple questions from the class, get some good class interaction going, such as what are some things that Barry Seals did right, and what are some things that maybe you would do differently than he did as portrayed in the movie. All right, lastly, we'll cover a couple of tips for success. So the first tip is every foot counts, especially if we have a smaller general aviation aircraft with like a 1 to 10 foot ratio. That means we're only going to climb 1 foot for every 10 feet of horizontal distance. So make sure we use all available takeoff area. Next point, headwinds, definitely good. Those will help us climb out and avoid that obstacle. If we're at higher altitudes, we might consider leaning the aircraft before takeoff. Holding the brakes versus a smooth application of power is recommended for some platforms. That's not the way I learned, but that is a good technique because it avoids some swerve and some engine loud noise, which may create nervousness or loud shouting back and forth between the instructor and learner. Lastly, stay cool. Don't do what Barry Seals did in the video. Keep lifting the nose off. Make sure, take off when the airplane's ready to go. And then hit that VX speed and maintain that on your climb out. Lastly, if you get off a little bit earlier before VX, use that ground effect to accelerate to VX and then climb out at that optimum airspeed to avoid that obstacle. Hope you had a good time and you learned something on short field takeoff and maximum performance climbs. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.